Most of you have already seen me show my kitchen numerous times. I'm gonna try my best not to make this too long. So first, I do want to say that I haven't done the dishes. I'm actually filming this video on a day where I'm not feeling good. I wanted to get this video out there for you guys. So don't mind the dishes, and also do not mind the bare fridge. It is a little empty. We have to go grocery shopping. I still have the same trash can that I've had since 2018 that hasn't gone anywhere. I know a lot of influencers or people in general are stepping more towards the smart trash cans, and I'm just sticking with what works in the basic route, I guess. I know that sounds so weird to say, especially with me talking about a trash can, but we do live in different times, and this trash can's not broken, so you're gonna see a lot of old things in my kitchen, and it's because if it's not broken, I'm not fixing it. Trying my best to stay on a budget and also save money at the same time. In the corner of this part of the kitchen, we have our little coffee machine with some sugar. Now, we don't drink coffee, but we do drink tea, and we do have coffee sometimes on deck for when we have family members that come over. So this is where we will keep all of the tea, and we do have like nuts and things up there, which I'll go through in a minute. Back there on the side, I have, well, my partner has all his vitamins. I also have a pill crusher there that I use when I have to take pills because I have a hard time swallowing pills. But this is all of the tea that we use. Favorite out of all of these is the peppermint tea and the dandelion leaf and root. Those are my absolute favorite, and I will have one of those every other day. Moving on to this side, that's also more loose tea in those glass jars. I just reuse any type of jar that we have that's glass. I reuse it. Those little glass jars had jam in them, and I just washed them and put some moringa tea, the moringa tea little bags in there, since they do not fit in this little tea storage thing. Also in that little black box is more tea. So we have a lot of tea because my partner loves tea. He drinks it at least 3 to 4 times a day. In that little basket up there is loose tea, and we do have more coffee cups or tea cups. They're just dirty right now. As for the nuts that we have, I have hemp seeds, pumpkin seeds, pistachios, almonds, pine nuts. We also have beans and black lentils. And for this shelf up here, we keep it pretty empty. Those are some old vitamins that we actually have to get rid of. Been there since we moved in, so it's definitely time for me to declutter that. We personally cannot reach up there, so we never put anything up there. As for the cabinet above the sink, it's still the exact same. It's just cups. I'm not going to go too in depth with this. We have like our reusable water bottles, wine glasses, and regular cups. This has been like this since we moved in, and it works perfectly fine. So this side of the countertop, I usually keep fruit in there, but I do need to go food shopping, so it's pretty empty. We do have our hand sanitizer that I refill that bottle with. We have like a gallon of hand sanitizer, and I just refill it. As for the cabinet situation, I know it's not super neat. I know you guys are going to be sick of me saying this. This is what works for us for now. We have some of the dishes that I have to give back to my mother-in-law, because when people do visit us, they do tend to bring food over for us, which is great. Saves me time with not cooking for the next day. So some of these dishes are hers. And when it comes to the little Tupperware part up there, I will have those linked down below. That's for our fresh produce. Also, don't mind the noise. This fridge just like kicked on behind me. But the last thing that is up there is my colander, and it's a strainer, and it comes with a bowl. It's phenomenal. I swear that thing is going to outlive me because it's stainless steel. Again, I'll have it linked down below. I use it for everything, especially when it comes to the bowl. I use it to make salads because it's so big. I'll use it to make bread, and yeah, it just comes in handy. I'm not going to be able to take everything out of here because it is pretty dark, and it's also really narrow to take things out, but I'll just tell you guys really quick. I do have some vinegar back there. I have like a gallon of peroxide. We have some dish soap. Once when that dish soap is done, I'm going to purchase better dish soap. On the side, I have the sponges in that drawer, the dish pods in the other drawer, and our little rags go there. And when it comes to those 2 spray bottles, that is for my cleaning solutions. Oh, sorry, my cat likes to try to get in here, and I don't want him in there. But the last thing is my spray bottles. I will talk more about all of this in the DIY cleaners that I've been doing in a separate video. That's why I don't really want to go too in depth with this. Plus, it's such a dark space in there. It's kind of hard to see. So we'll talk more about that in another video. You don't have to close the cabinets for me, okay? He knows how to open and close the cabinets, which is kind of crazy. Next to the stove, I like to keep it very, very simple. I've had like a potato masher that comes in handy, especially with that big bowl that I showed you guys. I have a whisk, a stainless steel spatula, some scissors, some tongs back there, a soup ladle, and that little peanut butter silicone scooper. On the side of that, I do have my reusable napkins that I've had for 4 years now. Absolutely love them. And for oils, we only use avocado oil and extra virgin olive oil. I try my best to stay away from canola oil, vegetable oil, soybean oil, even though they're technically the same thing. I try really, really hard to stay away from those oils because they do cause inflammation in your gut. I've been doing a lot of research with oils and food in general. So with living in the US, the food is very, very different here compared to anywhere else in the world. And there's a lot of fillers in our food here, unfortunately, which causes a ton of health problems. I don't want to get too in depth with that, but I'm just trying to do my own research when it comes to the foods that we eat and just trying to go more the healthier route. As for the cabinet above the stove, well, not the stove, beside the stove, I just keep a very few ingredients. I used to keep a lot more in here. On this side, I just have a lot of dry herbs. I'm not gonna bore you guys with the amount of dry herbs that I have. I think I have about like 6 of them. I try to stick with herbs and not have any seasonings that have added salt. That way I can add my own salt to our meals. Also, when it comes to cooking, I do have organic coconut oil, cloves, turmeric, things like that. Again, trying to keep it very natural. On the side here, I have, what's that called? Oh, tahini. And behind it, I have apple cider vinegar, some cinnamon, some vanilla extract, some curry powder. And then these little things right here is just some vegan jello. Partner really, really enjoys these. I'm not much of a fan of them anymore. I feel like it has a weird aftertaste for myself. But I make this for him and he absolutely loves them. Up there, that notebook is just recipes that I've come up with over the years and I just like to write them down. As for this little section here, I'll take it down really quick so you guys can see. So in this little basket, I have my measuring cups, like a potato peeler or carrot peeler, however you want to call it. I just have a lot of kitchen gadgets that I use all the time. I have a lemon squeezer or citrus squeezer. I don't know all the names to these gadgets. I just use them and I absolutely love having kitchen gadgets. It makes my life so much easier. I know as a minimalist, you never really see people having, or you never see minimalist people having all of these gadgets. I like to cook a lot and this is just what helps me out, especially with having family members over, you know, with our family forever growing. It's just nice to have gadgets that make your life easier to cook a meal. So if I was to live alone and have that single life again, I probably wouldn't have any of this stuff because it would just be for me and I wouldn't need to like cook faster. So some of these gadgets help, like this one, like some of these gadgets help me cook faster. So they make my life easier in the kitchen. And as for this basket, it just has other things that I use, like a scale. It has these little things to clean the cups, or just like get into like hard to reach places to clean. I also have a little citrus, well, that's a cheese grater, but I use it to grate my lemons. And we do have like a sushi roll maker. We have a lot of like random gadgets here. I don't go through this stuff as much, but it is still things that I use. And the last thing is our oven mitts that we desperately need to replace, but it's just another thing that I don't want to pay for right now. So I know they look ugly, and I know you guys probably aren't used to seeing like oven mitts look like this on the internet, but you know what? This is just real life, and accidents happen when you're cooking, so they still work. Even though they're ugly looking, they still work, and I just keep them up there whenever I need them. So that is that cabinet. Very, very simple. I'm not going to open that one because it's literally just 2 coffee machines that we are kind of keeping right now until we move out. Our plan is to own a multifamily and rent it out and put those 2 coffee machines in the multifamily. Fingers crossed that we are able to own a house very, very soon. I'm not sure what's gonna happen because having a house these days, or trying to get a house, is nearly impossible. So I'm just manifesting it at this point and holding on to those extra coffee machines because I know we're gonna need them, and our plan is to put those in there instead of like purchasing coffee machines. So even though most minimalists won't keep items that they're not going to use, I'm learning that this is something that might come in handy in the future, and it's one less thing that you have to purchase, especially with everything being so expensive these days. That is just the one thing that I don't want to keep doing, is spending money you don't have to spend. I have downsized our silverware drawer drastically. So over here I have some sandwich bags that I either pack for my partner for his lunch, or I do use them to clean the cat box. They come in handy. It's better than having a bunch of plastic bags on hand, and they're better for the environment, and they're cheap. So I either use them for lunch, and I use some to clean the cat box. Over here we just have the basics. We don't have fancy silverware or plates or no dishes. We have like everything that we own, it has been handed down to us. I would say like 70% of the things that we own have been handed down to us. So the forks don't match, the spoons don't match, the knives don't match. And I am learning that that's okay. Not everything has to look perfect. So we just have what we need. So down here, I've actually showed this plenty times before. I just keep extra food down here. We have some seaweed chips. We have some beans. I try to limit our take on canned food. So I only have 3 canned food items. I try not to purchase a lot of canned food like I did in the past. So I just have garbanzo beans and northern beans, and then we have some evaporated oat milk. On the side I have some miso paste, some tomato sauce. As you guys can see, I save those tomato sauce jars and repurpose them. I also have some rice wraps for my partner's sushi little rolls, like kind of like spring rolls. And over here we just have some glass jars with more food in them, some rice, dried cranberries. These have like protein balls in them. It's like dates and coconuts mixed together. And in the back is just some pasta noodles in the other jars. And over here is just some flour, and then I have some chickpea crispy little snacks that goes in my salads. I absolutely love those better than croutons. I feel like it just adds more flavor than croutons. Moving to the freezer, we do have a lot of frozen food because it's just less money being wasted when it comes to fresh produce. So we have a lot of plantains, yuca. We also have some frozen peas, mango chunks. Those are actually really good in salads. You can make a smoothie out of them. We switch up our frozen fruit every month. I only buy 1 bag because I find it a huge waste to keep buying like different kind of frozen fruits. So it does. I feel like the fruits is what gets freezer burnt very fast. But over here we have some more plantains, falafels, and I have some green beans in there. Up here is some scallion pancakes. There's only like 2 left. I mean, we're not perfect, but I am trying my best to eat healthier. On this side, we do have some hash browns. Those are my partner's. He loves hash browns, so I try to always have those on hand for him. He likes to have those in the morning with some avocado on top of them. And on this side, I have some baking soda to make everything smell fresh. And then we have a bag of broccoli. As for the fridge, I told you guys we need to go food shopping desperately. So we have some buttered lettuce there, some kale, some carrots, and then in the back over there we have some coconut water and some oat milk. Do not mind my cat, he's very nosy with the fridge. But everything else is empty. I usually put some ginger ale in that little soda can holder for my partner, but obviously we ran out. And when it comes to this drawer, we have some apples, garlic, and onions. I do need to clean this drawer out really bad. I'm gonna do a whole separate video on how I deep clean my fridge, so stay tuned for that video. When it comes to our condiments, we try our best to keep it at a minimum. We try to only use like 7 condiments, so under 10. On this side, I just have my vitamins, vitamin D, vitamin B12, and vitamin C. Up here is Milo's food. He already knows. It's not dinner time, I'm sorry. We always keep Milo's food in there. And on this side, we do have 1 beer because like I said, we had family members over and they did bring some beer. I don't drink, but my partner will have a beer here and there. We have some peanut butter. We have some apricot spread. Down here we have some homemade sofrito from my mother-in-law, coconut aminos. I also have a jar of tomato sauce open, some maple syrup, and some ketchup. Like I said, very, very simple, not very aesthetic, just we just do what works for us. And that's about it, you guys. That is everything in my kitchen. I didn't want to make this tour really long. I hope it wasn't. I will try my best to link some items down below if you're interested. So I hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next video.